Still a lot to tell you about tonight, including New York's new adoption law. In just a minute, a guest will join me to talk about how the legislation is helping adoptees obtain critical information about their family history. And now it's time for our feature story tonight, and let's take a closer look at a landmark bill that went into effect last week. It puts an end to 84 years of secrecy surrounding adoptions in New York State. There's a lot to know about this new law, and to join us right now is Nicole Witt. She is from the Adoption Consultancy and helps pre-adoptive parents. So good to have you here, Nicole.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story. I mean, 84 years, right? It's a long time. But
it's a long
what's your
time.
reaction to finally seeing this law passed?
I think it's fantastic. Groups have been working for decades to get this new law put in, and I think it's an example of the law finally catching up a little bit with our society and technology, so I think it was a long time in coming.
Yeah, because previously, you know, these records had to be sealed, right, once the adoption was filed.
Exactly. So, you know, the baby's born, the birth certificate is written, and then if that baby is subsequently placed for adoption, at the finalization, the adoptive parents get a brand new birth certificate showing them as the parents and the name that they've given the child, and the original one is sealed. So
the red tape has been lifted. Now, this does impact, you were telling me, impacts a number of people in New York. Give us those figures.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're expecting that it impacts about 650,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
It is. That's how many sealed birth certificates there are.
And so since the law was passed, as we said last week, what kind of reaction have you seen? What kind of numbers do we have?
It's been tremendous. In the first 24 hours since the law went into effect, over 3,600 adoptees filed for their original birth certificate.
Does that surprise you? No.
It did, a little bit. I knew it was going to be a lot, but that many within the first 24 hours really just shows how important it is for these people to get access to this information, especially since a lot of them, they already have the information that was on that birth certificate.
Some of them do have that, right.
Which is getting that piece of paper is so meaningful.
But they obtain, you know, so much information about their family history and so, including medical information, which is important to a lot of people.
Yes, and also if you have older adoptees who've since passed away, their descendants have access to this information now too, so they can make those connections and get that medical information that maybe they didn't have before.
Yeah, and previously I think you needed a court order, right, to get this information. Now that has also been lifted.
Yes, you needed a court order. It was very hard to come by in New York. They didn't serve them very often, but now it's complete, unfettered, unrestricted access to an unredacted original birth certificate.
Nicole, let me ask you, is there a downside here? I mean, you know, some parents might say, you know, I really don't want to be found. I don't want to be discovered and so forth.
That was the reasoning for the law in the first place, which was back, as you said, 84 years ago, to maintain the privacy of the birth parents. And I think that had a lot of validity back then, but now with more open adoption, with people connecting through social media and through DNA testing kits, I don't think anybody really expects that lifelong anonymity anymore.
We want to remind people, we'll put it up on the screen right now, if they want more information, the adoptionconsultancy.com, they can go there and find out whatever they need, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'd be happy to chat with them.
Wonderful. Nicole Witt, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Good information for a lot of people.
Thank you.